if we are starting the play.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Alrighty, then, or as the saying goes, we'll start off where we left off the last time. You guys had just finished talking to the Dryad, and I believe, was it Pescaria had made the deal with the Dryad?
Sarab made the deal.
Sarab made the deal with the Dryad.
I made the deal with the Dryad.
And I did it with the Pixie.
Yes.
However, I got the entire party
Involved, yes.
involved.
Oh yeah,
on
yeah.
my-
You managed to.
And forced us to take the path of warfare, while I only did myself and said, yeah, I'll pay you back a favor in the future.
See, you say pay
Can we
force
agree for other people?
if you guys don't disagree.
I said I will pay back the Pixie.
It is what
in a
it
favour.
is. Let's move on. It's not like he suddenly made the whole party evil. That's in another game.
I didn't make the whole party evil.
You encourage a lot of people to do it.
That's another game. Let's stick to this one.
Yes, indeed, that is an alternate universe where this one is not
Yet.
yet. After you guys probably cause another apocalypse. Anyway, you guys start to head north through the forest. You can see, thankfully, you are not tripping over your own feet anymore. Wonder what could have caused that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna say, can I have a survival check from all of you actually to make sure how well you guys managed to stay on your course through the forest?
Hey, go
As
on,
well-
I hope the survival was good.
Whilst the Dryad isn't necessarily trying to stop you, the Dryad isn't assisting you in leaving the forest.
Oh, come on!
We're off to a good start, I see.
Oh dear.
Where am I on my page? What the hell is that?
Indeed, an excellent start.
It's under skills.
Yeah, but there's something on the top of it.
Oh dear.
Let's take that.
I see that you guys
it's the
are quite
buff.
well practiced in travelling the Feywild.
There you go, Cole.
It gets
Thank
worse.
you.
I mean, I have a +8, but
I'm
I'm
just
not
reloading.
fluent.
I'm just reloading.
Bloody as fuck.
There are two more hopes in your life.
None of
I'm
you have even
looking,
beat my
sorry.
minimum yet. I have a +22. I rolled a 2.
22 is your minimum.
Yeah, I rolled
You
You
rolled
a
rolled
two.
a 2!
God damn.
Well,
Are we
hopefully,
following tracks
thanks
like
to
a half the
Gotham,
ranger level?
So, correction, quite a few of you still trip over your own feet. However, not because of any, unlucky things this time. Just, you're not used to the tree roots moving around, slithering like snakes. The bright glow of the human-sized mushrooms. Until eventually you all manage to exit the forest. You can see the sun is pretty much straight ahead of you in the sky, and you think you might have come out a bit to the east rather than the north. Not too far off, though. You can still see a large mountain range in the distance, though not directly towards you as it would have been if you'd left to the north.
I guess we correct our route.
At this point, it's... Oh, we see typing. At this point, it's pretty easy to correct your... Only one
Oh
person
my
rolled above a 5.
fucking
This is an
God.
amazing start.
Yep, that would be me. Jesus Christ.
My minimum
The-
is 16,
The
though,
person
so...
with the lowest Um, modifier.
Roll the best. Nice.
Thanks, Roll20. It's one of these days.
You guys can see off in the distance of the mountain range. You're not entirely sure where this lumber camp is supposed to be, but you can see across the large open plains just before the start of the mountain range there seems to be a large black cloud just hanging alone in the mountains.
Hey, Minton.
Yep.
Is it smoke? Or smoke?
I mean, it doesn't look like a thundercloud.
Cool. We go that way.
That
On
should be
the
easy
way.
enough to follow.
On the way. We should end up looking, or at least thinking about, how we are going to tackle such a encampment when we are outnumbered 4-1.
Lavender points at her weapon.
Group
Good
them up.
start.
Group them up, and I'm sure the two of us can take care of a lot of them. And Pascal gestures at herself and no.
Are you really sure that we want to be doing that straight away?
Lavender rolls her eyes when Prescari does that.
I advise that we try maybe more of a kind of hit and run to dwindle their forces before we corral them all up for your devastation.
Oh, by all means, pick off outriders. The less I suppose we have to burn, the better.
I can help with that.
But the only way that I'm going to be able to do anything effective, unless they get right up in my face or a disintegration, is if they get grouped up so I can drop a fireball on their face.
Then so it shall be. You will be our contingency. I hope this also...
I do have more AoE than single target.
Yeah, I have exactly one single target spell.
Do you both mind if you happen to be our contingency then? If, as the saying goes, shit hits the fan.
Sure, it's not like fighting things is what I've been doing my whole life, after all.
I feel like it just would be more effective for us to pick the little ones off first. Especially if we can make our presence not very well known. Or if we are known.
Sure. I have a way of grounding flying creatures if they have them, but that will not be discreet.
Minton,
Yes.
can I use my spell consumption to consume a 5th level spell slot, please? It gives me an extra 5 points in my reservoir.
I'm presuming you can do it, so yes.
Okay. I was asking if there was anything that would stop me from doing it on the trip over. It's a move action.
No. There's nothing to stop you doing it.
Cool, I'm consuming a 5th level slot. I need my points more than a single lightning arc.
I give a nod of acknowledgement over to Lavender's note. It is very true. If we can take a few out, preferably the first group without raising any alarms, keep this up until we get caught. Once we do get caught, we corral them or get them to gather all together, and we finish them off. Gives a small sort of, okay, look.
I'll say you guys do notice on your journey through the plains, as you get closer, you do notice a fair amount of tree stumps.
I'd like for us to start trying to move silently. Or
Agreed.
discreetly.
Yeah, we can stealth through
Stealthily.
here.
So you still think you're a good couple miles away, but
Haha!
Oh, that's
Still
cute.
getting wrecked by Ambra.
It isn't even like a heavy entail for me. Like, I don't have full skill ranks into that.
Oh,
you ain't got
rolled
shit
a
on
nine.
Toby's.
I've
Fucking-
got nothing on Gorthon.
And I rolled a 9.
I'm not going to bother rolling for Cerule because she's just going to go into my shadow or / underground.
I'm
And
just assuming that Toby's disappeared into the bag of holding at this point.
Our monkey's online.
yeah, sorry,
Fine.
I should have noticed. He'll be on soon. He's just having his food.
Nice. I'll say you guys start to. Oh, he's offline again. Oh no, we lost him.
Mia, I'm going to send you. Well, I'm going to post in chat a picture of Pasiari's spellbook for you so you know what I've got. Because Pasiara will be comparing notes with Nur and seeing what each of us could do.
You guys do notice that maybe half a mile off to your right. Normally it'd be quite hard to miss being at that distance, but considering all the trees are chopped down and the absolute vibrancy, you notice a flock of goats. Quite large goats. And you do all notice that their wool all seems to be different colours of the rainbow.
Ooh, that's pretty. Do we know anything about this?
In Minton, knowledge planes?
Yeah, North Plains.
Lavender starts
Thanks.
sneaking up towards him.
Okay. I have nothing on you.
Dare I ask?
Do-
Well, actually, shit, Lavender has a decent stealth, doesn't she?
Do we see Lavender do this?
I think Gorthon's passive perception is ridiculous. So, okay, yeah.
What's passive perception? It's just plus 10, isn't it?
Yeah, perception plus 10.
34.
Yeah, you'd see Lavender start to break off from the group and make her way
I
towards the
will
goats.
sneak up behind her, put a hand on my shoulder, and just shake my head. On her shoulder, on my shoulder. That's what I meant.
Nor you'd know that in the Feywild, there, as well as being the Fey, there are sometimes almost magical Fey versions of animals that live in the overworld. In this case, you'd presume that these might be one of them. Pescari, you know the same, but you also know that generally the wool of these creatures is magical. They are prized throughout the land for being, a rarity, and also quite good looking in a zoo, something like that, as well as them generally being a lot more magical than their mundane counterparts.
Do I know if they tend to be protected by the denizens of the Feywild, or can people from the material plane just kind of come in, go goat hunting, and leave?
You'd know that generally most Fey, either of the Autumn Court or just Court as hunters, will claim these areas under either their hunting grounds or their protection. There are cases where humans, or people from the material plane will trade or poach them, but generally going and just stealing creatures from the Feywild will generally provoke the ire of the Fey.
Okay. I communicate this to the others, including Gorthon and Lavender, that touching them is a bad fucking idea.
Especially as we're trying to be discreet.
You got knowledge. Oh, I mean, that's a fucking pretty good knowledge planes, actually. Even with that, you'd also know that some Fae, specifically the hunters, generally need your permission for them to hunt you as prey. Going onto their land or touching something they class as their own is generally considered permission to be hunted. It is implied consent, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I also communicate this.
Let's not put more of a target on our backs then.
Quite rightly so.
It is a shame they are very pretty.
I've made a very good and strong mental image so that I can make illusions of them for later.
Make some rainbow goat ghosts.
Don't know
Yeah,
how freaky that's going to be in the material plane.
have you seen the picture that I put in chat of what I have?
Yes, I have.
That is all the spells I can currently cast, and most of them I can't swap out.
Yeah.
Well, I can swap them, but not to anything useful.
I have a couple of things that you also have, like Dimension Door, Fireball, but overall we don't have too many repeats. Dragon's
Okay.
Breath.
I do have the defensive of Darkness and See Invisibility Sphere, but that's pretty much all I have.
But where's your bug out spell?
Dimension Door.
Okay.
Yep.
Making your way closer, you can see as you start to make your way closer, when you're about a mile out, you can see that it's a storm cloud. This is indeed a cloud of smoke. Being on top of a hill in these plains, you can start to see that looking down in the distance a mile away, you can see an encampment. It seems to have a wooden palisade around it.
How big is it? Oh, never mind. Big.
Pretty big. You can see there seems to be a large crane in the middle that can seemingly reach everything, as well as 3 large brick buildings in the southwest, what seems to be a lumber mill of some sort in the southeast or southwest even, and to the north what seems to be 2 large furnaces, which seem to be where the smoke is coming from. You can also see that there seems to be a rather large path to the north which leads up into the mountains.
And which direction are we standing from?
You guys would be, at the moment, to the southeast. However, given enough time, you would probably be able to circle around to come in from the south if you wanted it to be daytime, or marching through the night. Potentially, you could probably come in from the west side. Though, considering that you've been awake all of the day, it would probably, leave you not exhausted but quite fatigued from your journey.
What's the crane made out of? The wood.
It seems to be a combination of wood and metal, yeah. It seems to be quite a recent construction.
From this distance, can we see people?
Can I have a perception check?
I'll take that as well.
I'm sure someone can perceive better than my +2. Also, roll 20s telling me F you.
What, then the rolling a 20 when rolling a nat 1?
Yeah, and meanwhile I'm rolling a nat 7.
And Gorthon
Because I
rolls
cannot roll.
4.
Holy shit, this map.
I would like to roll above a 10 at some point.
Yeah.
Don't worry, roll 20 is saving it for your attack rolls.
What if we
But-
set the crane on fire? Then you can use your AoE spells. As people gather to try and put out the fire.
I can set it on fire with said AoE spell.
You know, a very good use of illusion is to hide the real thing inside the illusion. keep them guessing, I can set everything else on fire as I give
We
bunny
are
ears.
here to gather wood.
Can we see where the piles of wood are?
From where you are, you'd just be able to see the back one. The rest of them would be blocked by these quite large brick, semicircular, like almost hanger-shaped things. I say hanger-shaped just because I'm pretty sure everyone knows what a hanger looks like.
Yeah.
I'm just saying maybe fire when we're here to gather wood is, like, not the best idea.
Is there anyone around the crane or in the crane at the moment? Operating the crane?
Does anyone else want to finish their perception checks?
Sure, hold on.
Because at the moment you're a mile away.
None of us rolled above a 10.
It's one of those days.
Yeah, no, right?
You notice the large crane begins to turn, picks up a load of metal from over towards the furnaces, and then deposits it down by the hanger-like things.
Hello.
It's a monk.
toolbox.
Monkey.
Don't
I
worry, the most
think
valuable
your
member of the
recording is-
party is here now.
I think your recording is killing your computer, Mir.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you are able to see eventually what's turning it as it exits up by the furnaces. You can see a extremely large, 15 feet tall, looks sort of constructy, but you're fairly certain it's not a construct.
Okay.
As it starts to push and turn the crane with the big effectively turning handles. This thing looks pretty big. You can see it's also got a massive halberd slung over one shoulder.
This may be a bit more challenging than I thought. I was expecting fairies.
That's a very broad term for a very broad amount of creatures.
Lavender just cracks her knuckles and hits a grin on her face.
We should stake out the area a little more before we go charging in, but a possibility I run the idea at the moment is for me to cause what looks like a fire on the crane until they notice it. Maybe I can add some sounds to it to make it more believable, preferably out of their reach, because it is not going to cause heat. If it gathers their attention and they either are drawn to it, in which case we can pick some others off, or gathers them all in one group and you can blast them all in one go. Before actually setting things on fire later.
That's what I want to hear.
And if you so wish to wait until they realize it is an illusion, and then set things on fire, well, we've all heard the story of Crying Wolf.
Pardon me?
But as Noah said before, we should be careful about our quarry of wood. Shall we move closer and take a closer look?
Sure.
Yeah.
So am I correct in presuming Tobod hops out the bag of holding?
Oh.
Huzzah!
Lavender jumps and takes out her sword and looks at him, and then realizing who is it, just puts her sword back and just continues towards the crane.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
Thank you. Where the bloody hell are we?
The Feywild.
Who what?
Fairies, pixies, and everything large and magical and naturey.
Toby
We're on a
rubs his
different
eyes.
plane of existence.
Oh, I remember the fancy flying folk.
Let us just say that we are not in Kansas anymore.
Where's Kansas?
It is at this point that the pixie that had been sitting on Piscaria's shoulder at this point seems mildly nervous and does say, "Yeah, whenever you guys start to go near there, like now, I'm just gonna sit here and wait."
Is there something you would like to tell us about this place before you ditch us?
If we all die, we can't. Piscaria can't repay the favor that she owes you.
You can see the pixie looks a bit like not wanting to give anything away, but also can see point that it's like the Iron Core aren't necessarily the same as other Fae.
How so?
Almost. They tend to act more like a cross between constructs as well as Fae. While most Fae tend to have a bit of a weakness towards iron, these might not have as much luck considering they pretty much clad themselves in it.
Are they actually weak to anything?
Most people who try to fight them off normally end up being processed. I guess, I don't know what they do. They just, take off. They make use of everything, including, reigns of Fae. Could try, I don't know, something that fire's weak to, maybe? I don't know. Something metal's weak to. They're made out of, like, metal Fae, I guess? I don't know.
They may conduct a lot of electricity.
Anybody got a rust spell?
And it was at this moment I wished I'd taken heat metal.
I feel like that wouldn't really do as much as you'd think.
But yeah, I'm gonna stay here. You guys can go on ahead.
Very well. Let us continue on.
You get to about half a mile away. I said, do you all want to roll perception again? See what you can see from being half a mile away?
What do your elf eyes see?
Woo, it's above a 10. It's 12.
Also, which way are you guys approaching from?
Where are we currently at the moment? North side.
I like how I rolled a nat 1 and still scored better than a certain member of our party.
That's what happened to me before.
You guys would be approaching from down this way. From the east.
This way?
That way.
From the east.
East? Okay.
East. East, not west.
I can't see any pings if people are pinging.
It's because the map is too big.
Towards the hangars.
Right. Okay. How big is the palisade?
About 15 feet tall. If you weren't up on the hill, you wouldn't have been able to see the the large construct, which has now vanished out of view again as you went down the hill.
Do they look like they could be climbed? Or at least able to get over?
Depends how you tried to get over them, I guess.
Could I acrobatics my way over?
Define acrobatics your way over them.
Parkour!
Would you like to try and... I mean, what, like hardcore parkour jump between the two of them?
If I was given a boost?
You might be able to just about, but they are spiked at the top, so there's not really much to climb, not much to actually grapple a hold of on them.
Would Lavender know or see what he's trying to do?
This is just contemplation at the moment. We're not actually there just yet.
I mean, you're still half a mile out.
Oh, okay. If he does say it out loud, Lavender would just walk over and pick her up.
I mean, I
No.
can cast fly on some people, if need be.
Flying would be too obvious. We had at our disposal a sphere of invisibility.
Invisibility sphere is localized.
We could just walk right in.
That could work. If we all stick together, we walk right in, like Gotham said.
Yeah, I don't want to be too
Lavender
close
shakes
to
her
this
head,
camp.
yes.
Fuck off.
Then cast it on one of us and stay out of the camp.
It's centered on me.
What?
Oh, wait, no, I can target it on a creature. You are correct.
I was going to say... Gorthon got a 36 on the perception.
Yes.
Gorthon, you notice off in the distance two figures quite far away from each other. One seems to be bunkered down behind a tuft of grass, basically. Though you can see still quite bright looking, quite bright greens, bright yellows, quite almost regal looking. The other figure you can see is dark blues, dark greys, off quite a far away from that one. They both seem to be observing the camp, but they also seem to be exchanging hostile glances between each other.
I relay the information and point them out.
Possible allies?
Does the one all in blue sound like Wintercourt from the books that we've been reading?
From the books you've been winting, it looks like one of them's from the Summer Court and one of them's from the Winter Court.
Explains the hostility.
Usually,
But what are they doing here?
Usually Summer Court is nicer than Winter Court, right? My guess is that they're not too keen on the Iron Court either.
But they are in the camp, no?
No, they are outside.
They're both about half a mile out.
Ah.
They seem to be switching between observing the encampment and observing each other.
How far are we from them?
You're pretty much in the middle of them. You're about a quarter of a mile. You notice some of them do seem to sort of give a look at you and then...
Quarter of a mile is how much in feet?
Like 300... I think it's like 1,000?
1,320 feet. 1320.
I was about to go with 1,000, but yeah, you're about 1,000 feet away from each of them.
Okay. And are they like a ways away from each other? Or are they right next to each other?
I will draw over here on the side of the map what it looks like. You guys are this one. You guys are that arrow you're coming in, right?
Yep.
I can't see shite.
Zoom out all
Zoom
the
out.
way, and it's there where the orange ping is.
Okay.
There's the winter
No
court.
lavender.
Oh my god, is this a trebuchet?
So winter are there.
And the summer are here.
Are we within 880 feet of either of them?
No.
We can move forward though.
Well,
That
you're gonna
is the
fucking
range
lob
of my
a
dimension
fireball.
door. No,
Huh?
that's my dimension door range. I'm not just a dimension door right up to them and be like, hi.
Are you gonna waste a spell slot like that?
It's a 4th level slot. All I do with that slot is Dragon's Breath. And Great Invisibility. Okay, maybe not. No, I've got 5 slots. I can dimension door to one of them.
I will walk if you don't mind.
Which one do we pick then? We do wish to discuss something with one of them, no?
I guess we
I-
will have to talk to one before the other, though.
I would say split the party and talk to both.
That is also a fair point. Less.
That,
If-
that
Would it be-
sounds
would
like a terrible idea.
Would it be nobility or planes to know how badly they'd take it if we spoke to one over the other first?
It'd be knowledge planes.
That's a 42.
Generally, they'd take it as an insult. Depending on which court, it might range from them being mildly insulted that you didn't pick them first, but understanding to it basically being a declaration of war. Normally, with the
Okay.
spring and autumn courts, since they're lesser courts, they're a lot more, lenient and a bit like, most people are here for the summer and winter courts as well. Whereas, generally, if you pick one court of the summer and winter, the other one will generally, there'll be a fair amount of animosity, because it's like, why did you go to our enemies first?
So splitting the party is probably the best way to not have them both murder us.
That was my thoughts on it.
Indeed, I agree.
So I don't
just
think
want
it's a
to
terrible
confirm.
idea.
Alright, I guess I can dimension door half of the party to one while you dimension door half of the party to the other.
I think we want Sarab talking to the Winter Court somehow. I get the feeling they're going to be more dickwaddy than the Summer Court.
You realize I will have to pick my words very carefully around them.
Yes, well, I would rather have our best talker, the ones that are likely to be the hardest to persuade.
Granted. Who desires to risk their lives and come with me?
Points at Lavender.
Lavender's already raising her hand.
I would more than love for your company, Lavender. Toby? Gotham?
Sure, I'll come along.
I will point out, though, my dear Toby.
So we probably want a 3-3 split. So you're going to have to take either Noor or I with you.
Sorry, what were you going to point out to Toby?
Perhaps on this one, as much as I do love your little comments, this is a fae that we are speaking to. Small out of turn comments could maybe get us killed.
Understood. Well, in that case, I'll only make large out of turn comments then.
Well, I suppose if we are going to die, then at least it'll be funny.
Toby just flashes a wicked grin her way.
I think it would be the best idea to send Noor, Gorthon, Toby to the Summer Court, and I'll come with you to the Winter.
I thought you might have preferred having the company of the summer, but of course.
I would,
Well,
but
I
Sorry,
am
go.
the second highest charisma. Well, or are we tied? I don't remember.
I think I'm just a bit
Your
ahead.
second highest.
Yeah. So it would make sense that we don't go to the same one, which means Piscaria should go with you so she can dimension door you guys.
Oh yeah.
Don't mind, I'll go with the others.
Yep. So it's Gawthon, Toby, Nur, heading to summer. I'm going with Sarab and Lavender to the winter.
Are you all able to drag your tokens on? I will.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, god damn it!
I've done mine.
I clicked the wrong button rather than What?
You accidentally left.
Yeah, rather than clicking on the journal like I wanted to, I accidentally clicked on a link to a forum in my
How does
do you
one
make
go
your
about
my
token
doing
go on?
bookmarks.
You
From
drag
the
and drop?
characters, on the characters, your name Lavender, just drag it over onto the map.
Same goes for you, Toby. And I'm pretty sure Toby McStabface has a default token, and
No,
also
he
still
doesn't.
needs to be leveled up. Oh,
No. I've had the Archer one with the goggles of night vision for quite a long time.
but yeah, there's your token.
We now have two Tobys.
There's two Tobys.
Oh.
Before
Although it still needs a HP bar, and
This is
Toby
getting
needs to be
hard.
leveled up properly.
Now there are two of them. Sorry, I had to
I mean,
represent some
I
people
can't
names
see
there.
the HP bars of anyone down there, so I can
yeah,
only
it's
see
fine.
Gawthon
It's
and
not really
myself.
too. It's not needed that bad.
Yeah.
Yet. Although Toby still needs to be leveled up fully.
Before we teleport, I will have Sarul not come with us and make her way without being seen using the ground, the walls, the floor, everything, staying inside and just feeling the presence of things around without actually revealing herself to end the camp.
Okay.
Have her basically explore and get a gist for numbers and locations, but doing absolutely nothing to come out of the floor to reveal herself.
This is going around the camp.
Yes.
What's the range on Sarul?
Literally infinite. She has her own thing. I could
Okay.
send her to the other side of the planet if need be. It'd take a while for her to travel there.
Nice.
Until I get IPT.
Yeah, she's basically a
IPT.
separate creature that just so happens to be loyal to me.
Fair. So, I will cover the group that is heading towards the summer court first.
Yep.
You start to make your way there. It takes a couple of minutes walking, not that much. Though, as you start to make your way, you can see
When we're in range, I will dimension door us to there.
you can see as you get close, the Fae seems to stop paying attention to the camp. A couple of glances towards it, but seems mostly to be paying attention towards you.
And when we get within range, the two groups are going to split in dimension door.
Yep. So that it's obvious that, like, we're going to them at the same time.
Yep.
So you just walk in between them and then.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Didor.
You said the summer court one looked kind of regal in his attire or her attire. I guess from the distance we couldn't tell.
Yeah. Getting closer, you can see it's a male, though. You're not sure whether that's actually regality or whether that's just how the summer court dress.
Okay. once we dimension door towards them, I guess not like right in their face, but a few feet away, I will say, greetings.
You can see the summer court page just looks not impressed, but mildly bemused, and goes, "Greetings. To what do I owe the pleasure of people from the material plane?"
We have been sent here by a dryad, and we noticed both you and this other fae over there watching this camp. We wonder if you are here with the same goal as us.
Business or pleasure?
Both, always.
Can you roll perception while you're there?
Can Tobalt and Gotham roll perception?
Yeah, they can.
Because my perception sucks. Hey, I'm rolling above 10.
Tobald and Gorthon, you guys spot this. Over towards the camp, slightly closer than this one, there does seem to be another fae who seems to be paying you attention. This one seems to be dressed in more dark, earthy greens, browns than the brightly coloured summer court fae.
Is it coming from the other corner of the camp?
No, he is over here. Not 15 feet away, but he is.
So he's spring-court?
It's more autumn.
I'm thinking
Brown.
autumn.
Garia's looking the wrong way.
Earthy stuff, I imagine, would be autumn, but I can't see it.
Yeah.
There.
Yes.
So we can't
I'm
look
sorry,
with
I saw light green and went, okay, that's probably spring, because normally autumn is, fucking orange.
You did say brown and earths.
Jeez.
Well, it's more green than brown, but it does seem to remind you of the colours of spring.
Okay.
He just seems to be sat mostly watching the camp, paying a bit of attention. Looks not necessarily irritated, but sort of like,
Disdainful.
yeah.
Well, we hadn't seen him. He can't be offended. It's not our fault. I don't know. I still don't see him. So
It is only Tobald and Gorthon that spot this extra fae. The Summer Court fae looks at you and goes, "What purpose would that be?"
we are here to, in exchange for a favor as a deal we made with a dryad, take care of the problem caused by the Iron Court.
And you say deal with the problem?
Well, they have been attacking and killing dryads and their trees. And from what I understand, they have been attacking and killing all sorts of fae.
That is well. It's not to say that that isn't wrong. It's suffice to say that have been instructed to keep an eye on them.
Only keep an eye? Or are you here to take action should the occasion arise?
Surely you should know that I can't just give away information like that.
True.
You can see the other Fae is just sat there basically listening in.
Well, I can't.
Well, yeah. Unless Gorthon and Tobold point out the other Fae.
Would we? It
Yeah.
feels like we might just wave at it.
Fair.
The Fae
Oh.
just gives a small wave back. You can see the Summer Fae sort of is still peering over at the camp every now and then, but he goes, "If you guys are here to deal with it, then how long do you reckon that will take?"
It depends. It would go much faster with some assistance. Surely a proud and noble warrior like you would be effective.
That I would, but it's a lot of effort going and I mean, I might be willing to come in and assist, and if I was within the safe knowledge that I would have a favor in the future.
What kind of favor exactly?
There are some things that people from the material plane can do that Fae can't. I'm sure what it would become clearer closer to the time, but it would be good to have the knowledge that I had a dependable group of adventurers, he says with just a chuckle and a bit of a smile on his face, that owed me a favor.
You understand I cannot pledge forward our entire group until I have the accord of the rest of our party that is currently talking to your winter court counterpart.
You can see his face just folds, kind of, whenever you mention the Winter Court. I could not work with the Winter Court if it came to that. It's suffice to say that we represent completely different things. If you decide to work with the Winter Court, then you would be the enemies of the Summer Court.
But this is your common enemy.
The enemy of my enemy does not necessarily make that enemy my friend, my dear.
Surely a truce can be made in the circumstances, though. An accord? Some deal between the two of you?
My dear, there can be no truce between the Summer and Winter Courts. We are as different as night and day.
And yet, night and day blend into each other each eve and each morning.
And that is what is represented by the other court. He says, sort of giving a not necessarily cross between disdain and pity towards the spring courtier over, and it's at this point that you notice there is another Fae.
I will greet the other Fae with a nod.
The Fae sort of gives a solemn nod back.
So you would be willing to work with either the spring or autumn courts, but not the winter court.
Even the fall court is closer to their winter brethren. I'm not personally a fan of them, but anything is better than working with the winter court. I'd work with the iron court before I worked with the winter court, but then again, I guess not working with either of them means that neither will happen.
And why should we favor you over the winter court? No offense. It is purely information as to knowing which deal would be the most in favor of our group.
Because obviously, the summer court is the better court of the two, quite obviously. The winter court are vicious, nasty. Whereas the summer court can be so kind and receptive.
That is a good argument. What do you two think?
What? Sorry, I'm still a bit groggy from being in the bag of holding.
I think we're going to be in too much of a predicament to decide of any of these. Being in one's favour could work out for the worst.
If we were to not work with the winter court and not work with you, that would not put us at odds with you, though.
Not picking a side does not necessarily make you an enemy, but eventually a side must be picked. You can never remain truly neutral forever.
What if we side with the spring court or the autumn court?
Then you've picked your side, and whether they choose to support the winter or the summer is up to them.
But in this specific instance,
I think in this specific instance, the fact that the spring court is over here says quite a lot.
I will reconvene with the rest of my party and we will decide on who we would like to make a deal with.
And with that, we will hop to the other group.
I am bad at dealing with Faye, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm here now.
It's a good thing I wasn't doing it, honestly.
I'm trying to ring that group. Altered Dimension Doored.
Yep. So that we would arrive at each Faye
Simultaneously.
at the same time. Yeah.
Yep.
I want to
I'm going
point
to the bathroom.
forward.
I'll be right back.
Okay. I want to put forward as a disclaimer, as I Muse spent the entire night that time reading through, and mainly it was the Winter Court Fae,
Yep.
dealing with the Winter Fae, and basically the 101 ways not to get yourself killed or turned into something that would then probably kill you anyway.
Yep.
If I do or say anything out of line with them,
I will inform you, yep.
Yeah, and I will try or attempt to interpret it in a way that Muse would be saying.
How much would you have informed Pescaria? Because I'm not certain I know all that stuff.
There was a lot in that book. There was a lot. The bare bone basics if I best can, if we had time, now knowing that we were dealing with Winterfell.
Can I have a reflex from Lavender, please?
Reflex?
Reflex? Okay.
Yep.
Not
Right.
from the magic users.
No, I'm just...
Wait, where?
Honestly, because
Yeah,
you're
thanks.
appearing right next to the Winterfell, aren't you?
Or right next to? Or a bit and then walk up?
From what I gathered, it was right next to.
Well, similar to what No did, we're appearing
Yeah.
basically at the entrance to their encampment and walking in.
It's
Plus
not necessarily
5
an encampment, it's
if
just...
it's a spell.
Well, they're near enough to pretty much
Yeah.
walk straight to them.
As you appear next to them, you can see the Winterfell just whips out a dagger of ice and holds it right next to Lavender. You managed to dodge out the way, so it's not right next to your throat. But you're fairly certain, had you not been quick enough, that dagger would have not caused you any harm, but have been right next to your throat.
Lavender immediately takes out her katana.
Oh,
It's
this is
okay,
going
yeah.
swimmingly. Holy shit.
Lavender at ease.
Pescaria just holds a closed hand up and slowly lowers it where Lavender can see.
No, I think you should feel very pleased about how the negotiations with us went. I think you did relative to these fucking goons, you did a fantastic job.
I'm back. What did I miss?
There is already knives at members of the party's throats.
It's not my fault.
You can see just the blue and grey Fae just looks at you and goes, "Mortals."
Kill them all.
I give it a greeting for Winterclaw. We are here for an exchange of information, to learn more and give you some in return, if you would be so inclined to negotiate.
And what do you propose?
We noticed that you are observing this camp, and from what little we have found already about this camp, they are aggravating a lot of the local area. Am I correct?
And see, he just sort of shrugs.
We would like to take care of this problem. I was interested in knowing perhaps why you are here, if you are to take care of such a problem or see how such a problem would be taken care of.
You can see this Fae is basically giving you the stink eye. He's glaring daggers at you, more so than the one he's got in his hand.
I'd expect nothing less, to be fair.
But you can see, as he's glaring daggers, you can see the bushes behind him start to kind of rustle, and you can see a person in auburn and orange clothing step through. Seems
Hi,
to be
Autumn.
I give another greeting and respectful courtesy, or however it would go.
a quite tall, and you can see this female Fae looks and goes, forgive his, I believe they'd be rude in your culture. Perhaps I can tell you the information you wish, as a gift, of course. Gesture of goodwill.
No gifts. That's not an in-character comment, but no fucking gifts.
As much as in my own culture, you may be correct, we are here in your realm now. We abide by your rules, so this is to be expected and understood. Do not worry. And a gift? An exchange of information is what I promised. And an exchange it shall be. If that benefits us both.
An exchange is not necessary. I'm merely offering to tell you what you want to know.
Sense motivating it.
Oh, Piscaria will have told you if you didn't know already. Gifts are a grave insult in Fey
Yeah, it's
culture.
been mentioned around the time of like when you were making your deal with the pixie. I already know, but she's insinuating, she's heavily implying.
This Fae seems to really want to give you this gift for some reason.
Yeah, no.
What's the gist coming from the Winter Court? Should I accept a gift?
No.
I mean, you can roll knowledge planes if you want to, but
I should have.
yeah,
Did
you
say
already
roll
know.
knowledge planes?
You already know. I'm not saying it out loud, or I'll PM it to you if you want. You
Please.
can roll it, and I'll PM it to you.
I
That
couldn't
would be a
pageant the
40.
peacock. I couldn't pageant the peacock. This could I? For actually, really, I should have been when dealing with a.
Minton, I'm presuming I would at least know a respectful way to address an autumn court Fae.
Presumably, yeah. And yeah, you can pageant the peacock if you want. I mean, you remember one of the many tales out there of a person that accepted a gift from a Fae, and then the Fae asked something of them, and for some reason they were compelled to do it. They were forced to run to the ends of the earth for an impossible task. Naturally, they died. And it's a fairy tale told to children all over Arcadia, never to accept a gift from the Fae. With your knowledge planes, Piscaria, now that fucking Sarab knows that, accepting a gift from a Fae is opening or is entering into an open-ended deal. If you accept a gift from the Fae, it is presumed you are in their debt, and they can demand whatever they want of you.
Okay. Before Sarab can respond, I'm going to give the respectful address to the Autumn Court Fae and say, a gift is not necessary in the circumstances. We come seeing if we will be opposed in what we have agreed to do. That is all.
And what did you agree to do?
I'm going to let Sarab take over talking again.
Like I said before, the reason why we are here is to take care of this problem that is aggravating all nearby. Now, perhaps you would also like this problem taken care of? As I gesture towards the camp.
I mean, if you've agreed to do it, then I don't see why anything else is required.
We have agreed on a set circumstance. We haven't agreed on total destruction or anything of the like. There may be still some things that we can offer you in assistance in return for your help to assist us in our own goal. A favor for a favor.
You can see the Winter Court's grip on his dagger kind of increases a bit. And the Autumn Court
Katana's
just
hold of her katana does too.
You can see the Autumn Court just looks and goes, and what extra would that be then? What have you agreed to with whoever you've agreed it with?
Well, that is information that surely, I mean no disrespect, but I cannot simply just impart. What is it that you would like us to take care of?
God damn
For
it,
this
Amber, you
camp.
missed the chance to offer the information as a gift.
I'm not taking any chances just in case.
Generally, no. They are not aligned unless their tree is within that court's territory.
Alright. Just checking.
You can see the Autumn Court just. I surely would not want to make a deal where the end of what I ask of you is the exact same as what you've already agreed to do. So I will make you a deal. You tell me what you've agreed to do with the encampment already, and I will consider making a deal with you.
We could, of course, offer what we have agreed to as a simple gift.
You can see the forecourt just chuckles and just gives you a look that it's a knowing look. It's a
Oh, he
don't
tried
try
to play
that with me. Yeah,
He tried to play it with us. It's only fair to return the favor.
you can see it. The look in this Faye's eyes is it looks almost mirthful and laughing like that, but below it you can see there's the eyes of don't play games with me.
Oh, Piscaria is just smiling.
You are offering a deal where I give you information for, in return, a consideration of another deal.
If you don't like it, the encampment is there. Go at your will, and I'll try and figure out what deal you agreed with anyway.
You see, consideration is very pushing the grey line.
Darling, that is what the Fae are. We're both a grey line and absolute at the same time.
May I... let me... Please give me a moment while I think my words through carefully. After all, don't want to make any offense. We are having a mere conversation at the moment. And we are very withholding of our information. May I, in hopes of bettering our public relations, tell you the information that we currently know about this encampment? And in return, you can correct me in anything that I may have incorrect.
You can see the Fae kind of gives a look towards you, gives a look towards the Winter Court Fae, who at this point you can see his knuckles are going slightly bluer than the rest of him grasping that dagger, and the
It's fine, he just strains himself after a while.
the Autumn Court goes, you tell me exactly what you agreed to do, and then you're permitted to ask one question about the encampment, which I will answer truthfully.
I look to Piscaria and Lavender.
There's that subtle shake of the head. I don't like that. Is too. We're giving up too much for too little. We want to be negotiating a position of strength, especially with the winter and autumn. No, I don't like that deal at all, because our information for one question, we give up everything. We give up our entire hand for nothing. As an
Lavender
unknown,
shrug.
as an unknown, we're interesting to them, we give up our hand, they can toss us aside or use us to their own ends. We want to get something from them.
I will consider the offer for now, but not agreeing to it as of right now. I have gathered now you do want this camp taken care of, a stain removed from this forest, right?
Potentially.
Gathered as such as you are not willing to even remotely consider stopping us from, as we put it, taking care of this problem. Would you be willing to assist us in helping take care of this problem? For something in return, of course.
You can see at this point the Fae is just hands on chin, sort of thinking pose. I believe we have got off on the wrong foot. I'm Kalen, by the way.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Muse.
Pleasure to meet you. And this talkative fellow over here is Dufach from the Winter Court.
Would I know if incline of the head is respectful or insulting to the Winter Court?
Depends how the Fae wants to take it, though. It would generally be considered a sign of acknowledgement, at least.
I'm going to incline the head and keep my eyes on him, but not directly looking at his face as I incline my head. Keeping him in view, but still giving him respect of his position.
You see a bit of a smirk appear.
Would I have known whether that was a bad move or a good move? Because I will point out 29 int.
Paying respect to Fae is generally a good move. You never know when they'll just basically turn up and...
Would the move of keeping a look on him but letting the eyes drop from his face for a moment be respectful or disrespectful?
Keeping your eyes on him would generally be respectful. It would show that you're not stupid, because generally the moment you take your eyes off a Winter Court Fae, they have the potential to do some damage, basically.
Like, I don't want to... In my mind, looking at his feet would acknowledge him as a superior, which I don't want to do, but I want to give him the respect of you do have a higher station.
Keeping your eyes on him.
Yeah.
Generally, with the Winter Court, it's more power than anything that is...
The formalities there. I gesture towards Beskar in a I'm not going
literally as far as we can see.
What, in a straight line?
See invisibility explicitly. You can see any